Good morning, good morning, good morning, Belize again. My apologies. I was having some technical difficulties. I'm terrible when it comes to technology, and I'm the only one up right now. So I kind of had to battle on my own. That's why I'm a little bit late. So I pray that tomorrow I'll have a better day. I want to first start off with giving God glory, giving Him thanks for waking me up this morning. And I hope you have already given Him thanks for waking you up this morning, because a lot of people did not make it. And even if you wake up, it's good to give Him thanks. You have everything functioning properly. You're not sick. You have your loved ones around you. Give God glory because He deserves it. Okay? And let's make today a beautiful day. Person that just signed up, please let me know if you're hearing me, because I was experiencing some technical difficulties earlier. So please just let me know if you can hear me now. Technology is not my best thing. Anyway, I would like to open up this morning. Again, I already gave God thanks. I thank God for you who's watching. God bless you. God bless your home. May you never lack anything. And God put a hedge of protection around you in everything that you do. And renew your heart so that you will be able to go to draw close to Him in everything that you do. All right. So today, I want to finish the segment that I continued on the Belize Constitution, right? Because I know a lot of us do not realize that we have a constitution that governs this country. And this same constitution is founded on principles that acknowledges the supremacy of God, faith in human rights, the fundamental freedoms, the position of the family in a society of free men and free institution, the dignity of the human person, and the equal and inalienable rights in which all members of the family are endowed by their Creator. Notice the last part. Two very important parts of the opening statement in the Constitution would be the first part, which states that it is founded on principles giving God credence and acknowledging His rule, His will, His supremacy in this land. So we can't take that away. In everything that we do, we have to always give God, put Him first, give Him His position where that He needs. We can't take that. And the last part, which states that we have inalienable rights, which was given to us, being a part of the human family, by our Creator. These rights were not given to us by no man, no father, no brother, no sister, no ma, no granny, no grandpa, pastor, minister, teacher. It doesn't matter. These rights are given to you by the Most High God. And it cannot be taken away unless you give up your rights. And I'm happy to go over this constitution, especially in a time like this, where it seems as though, not where it seems, where it is clear that our freedoms are under attack. Whether it's freedom of speech, freedom of movement, freedom to even be human, freedom of morality, to express yourself, freedom to worship God, to choose Him as a supreme being, even though that this gives Him that right. You know, we have said that He is our supreme being. So I'm excited to go over the Constitution in order to let people understand that we do have rights and we cannot afford to give up these rights to anybody. We can't. The only way that we will lose these is if we give it up. Nobody can just come and take away your human right. It's an inalienable right that has been bestowed to you from your Heavenly Father. Okay? So as we open up and we go through it, I explored the first section in a previous video, but I did highlight a couple, being the main important part, which says that the Constitution is based on principles acknowledging the supremacy of God. And the last part, the first and the last part that again lets us know that we have inalienable rights that were endowed upon us by our Creator, by God Himself. So we are to operate in these inalienable rights and not allow any other man, woman, institution, system, politics, whatever it is, we're not to allow these to remove from us or to take away from us these rights. They can't do it unless we give it up. Okay? All right, so part B of the Constitution goes on to say, whereas the people of Belize respects the principles of social justice and therefore believe that the operation of the economic system must result in the material resources of the community being so distributed as to subserve the common good, that there should be adequate means of livelihood for all, that labor should not be exploited or forced by economic necessity to operate in inhumane conditions, but that there should be opportunity for advancement on the basis of recognition of merit, ability, and integrity, that equal protection should be given to children regardless of their social status, and that a just system should be ensured to provide for education and health on basis of equality. That's part B. There's a lot of hot topics in part B right here. The principles of social justice, therefore the operation of the economic system, it should operate in such a way that it gives the material resources of the community is so distributive to subserve the common good. But we'll start with that right there. Right now, as we look in our country, we always hear about social justice. Matter of fact, justice and a whole seems to have left this country. Packed up, he packed up everything, and he seemed to just, like when my grandmother say, haul backside, no? Justice just seemed to have picked up and left. Any kind of justice, economic justice, social justice, criminal justice, he just picked up and left this country. And that is a sign that we have seemed to have lost our way. Because it's not for anybody to give us certain things, like I said. Not like I said again, I could go back to this now, because it's not my opinion. It's a constitution which was founded on principles acknowledging God. And these principles include faith in human rights and fundamental freedoms. Fundamental freedoms. You still put social justice and justice underneath that. It kind of intertwine. Okay? But as I was stating before, it seems that justice just pick up for himself and gone. He say, you know what happened? This is not my turf at all. He pick up his wife, picnic, cousin, uncle-in-law, sister-in-law, everything. He just clear out. Because as we look around today in our society, our people can't seem to find justice in no form. It's very, very, very difficult. It's very difficult to locate justice. And this constitution here gives us that right. That justice must be, we must find it, we must get it in all forms. Not just in some areas, but in all areas. But it seemed to have left this country. And a lot of you pretty much know what I'm talking about. You pretty much know what I'm talking about. Because this opening part just respect the principles of social justice. Respect it. And by respecting the principles of the social justice, we will believe that the operation of the economic system must result in the material resources of the community being so distributed to subserve the common good. And we all know that we're far from that right now. The material resources of the community has not been so distributed as to serve the common good. Now again, whose fault is that? You? Me. Because the Constitution is your right. And any infringement on that right, you are responsible. Because you allow it. You allow. Silence. That's allowing. Talking and not doing anything, that is allowing. Seeing somebody else being taken advantage of and taking the stance that says, you know what, that on me, that don't have nothing to do with me, you are also allowing that. Something doesn't have to happen to you directly for you to take a stand. Because eventually, whatever happens to one person can also happen to you at any time. At any time. So we have to get back to basics. Understand what these rights are. And start exercising them. Exercising them. We can't just have it as show and fashion, because they were not written or established for show and fashion or for style or to catch like my grandma would say, catch cobweb on a shelf. Your rights, these are your rights. These were given to you by God, which makes you a human person and helps you to operate in the earth. So we have to get back to basics with that, right? The material resources of the community is not being distributed as to subserve the common good. People are being left out. You know what is so funny? You are being left out. You're left out. You, yes, you are also being left out. You're getting crumbs, mere crumbs from the plate. When that is not your portion as a human being, it's not for you to receive crumbs. It's for you to receive the entire plate. You're called to the table. You're not called to the foot of the table or underneath the table to wait for the crumbs to drop. You're not called there. You have a seat at the table. So we need to start taking our rightful seat at the table and stop expecting the crumbs and watch our freedoms and our rights just being stripped away. Okay? So, again, the principles of social justice, any justice for that matter, we want to be honest with ourselves. It has left this country. There's no faith in the justice system, in the social justice system. There's no faith in it, because it does not operate to serve the common good. Or it operates in it, but it rarely reaches the people it's supposed to reach. The majority that it's there for. All right. So we continue with part B, and it says that there should be adequate means of livelihood for all. My goodness. there should be adequate means of livelihood for all. And you know that this is so far-fetched. Not far-fetched, but it is so not what it is. And if this Constitution is giving us that as a right, your livelihood is a right. It is your way of surviving. At the very least, man, there should be adequate means of livelihood for everybody. And we all know that again is not true. There's many things that stifles the livelihood of our people. Many things. So much. But we have to learn to hold on to these things, start addressing them, so we can get back to basic. We live in a beautiful country. As the anthem says, untold wealth from sea, star, stone to Rio Hondo. Untold wealth in this country. There is untold wealth. But if this wealth is not being distributed, that the people or people are not benefiting from it. When I have a little bit of people, I personally think we have at least over 500,000 people in this country, if not more. Be honest with you, I don't trust the statistics in this country. Matter of fact, to be honest with you, my personal opinion, there is no statistics in this country. Everything seems to be created for a show. It's like a shell, just to say that, well, we have this in place. We have this in place. But the reality of it is inaccurate. Reports after reports after reports. They hold no water, people. They don't. Because the systems that are in place, it's not giving, it won't, it doesn't work for the people who are governing or managing the country. It doesn't work for them. So you'll forever have wrong statistics. They'll never tell you the truth, because it will show their error in many ways, and in other ways it will show how much they have not done since we have actually got independent so-called independence. It will show how much that is not done and how much can be done, and how easy, not just how much it can be done, but how easy it is to get it done. How easy it is to get it done. Okay? Adequate means of livelihood for all people. That's not hard to ask. That's your right. That's your right. Adequate means of livelihood. That is your right. And those are simple issues that, once addressed, will improve the quality of life for people and the economy of Belize on a whole. It would, if you attack those little things. The livelihood, that people can fend for themselves, that people can actually live. And we don't talk about only mediocre living neither, because we don't have to have our people living mediocre. We don't have to. No, we're not saying that when it comes to when I call poor, right? They like to use this terminology poor, or what I would say, maybe to lack. When you read the Bible tells you that Christ instructed his disciples and told them, we'll always have the poor with us. There's a reason for poor people. So when you hear people get up on the top about eradication of poverty, and we need to combat poverty. No, we don't need to combat poverty, my friend. It will always be there. That is the balance. Without poverty or people that lack, then you can't exercise goodwill and charity and kindness. You see what I'm saying? Or if you're not doing what you're supposed to do, then that same poverty or lack can be also used as a chastisement tool for you. God created everything, and when he was creating, he knows what he was doing. Okay? We can alleviate poverty. We can help our poor. We can give to them. That's what we should be doing. But do we do that? No. We don't do that. We don't. What actually transpires is that they're stomped down further in the ground to the point where they have to end up resorting to doing things just basically to survive. Because it might not go fool you. A part of this human race thing, and a part of this human being a part of the human being family, survival. People will go into survival mode when they start lacking. They're hungry. They're going to survival mode. No matter no go school you. The best of us. That's one thing we have in common. The need to eat. That I know. Well, maybe today. That's I must eat. It's like air. Eventually, if you don't eat, you die. If you're not getting enough air or water, you die because your body needs these things to sustain. So we as a people affirm in this Constitution that we would have adequate means of livelihood, not for one, not for two, not for three, but for all people. And it's not far-fetched. It's doable. It's reasonable. But greed, selfishness, greed and selfishness. Oh, people poor. Oh, people don't want anything. Oh, people. No. The poor will always be with us. God said so. And this Constitution is written on his principles. The poor will always be there. But it is our responsibility to look out for the poor. It's our responsibility to take care of the needy, clothe the naked. It is our responsibility. Hello, Mr. Lightfoot. Good morning. It's not enough for us to just sit back in our own homes and say, well, okay, well, we are okay. And as long as we are okay, we don't have to worry about other people. Because at some point, my friend, their issue is coming to your door. What do you think burglary is all about? What do you think burglary is all about? Do you think that people just get up and say, you know what, I don't want to work, I don't want to do nothing. I just going to be one thief? No, we're not glorifying this behavior. We're not saying that it's okay for people to go and steal. But funny enough, the Bible even talks about that. That tells you that if a person thief or steal because he is hungry, you understand? And if he be found, he has to repay. But it's telling you right there, that's principles. If a person don't have anything, they will resort to survival mode by all means necessary. And if it includes stealing, they will. They will. So when it comes to this Constitution, it is imperative that we understand it and apply it, not just understand, but also apply it to our daily life, not just for our lives, but that we see through that other people's needs are met. Adequate livelihood for all, not some, not a few. Adequate means of livelihood for all. Thank you, Mr. Lightfoot. After the adequate means of livelihood for how we have labor, not to be exploited or forced. And to operate in inhumane conditions. My God. We need the Constitution to be taught in schools so people know what they are to expect from what they're not supposed to expect. Matter of fact, what is expected of them. We need this Constitution. Because I bet a lot of people don't even know that their labor should not be exploited. Do you know that majority of our workforce, their labor are exploited day in, day out? Goes completely against the Constitution. Goes completely against it. And then you have departments that are set up in the system that would say, okay, well, labor. How many people can actually say that they are able to go to labor and get redress? They have issues. People's stories are always pretty much the same. It doesn't matter if they were a manager being taken advantage of, or if they were just the skilled worker being taken advantage of. Rights are rights, and they belong to all of us. When God was issuing it out, He didn't say, well, okay, well, you don't want manager, so no worry about that, right? No, apply to you. You don't want least skilled worker, here what? That not apply to you. It says for all members of the human family. All, A-L-L, all, not some. Not some. Labor, people's labor. People go to work and their employers take on this stance as though they are doing them a favor. And I'm sure most of you can relate to it. Most of you can relate to that. They think that they're doing you a favor, not looking at the fact that without you, their business cannot go anywhere except they do it themselves. And they don't want to do that themselves. Labor has been exploited in this country and continues to be exploited in this country. And that is a human right. That is your right to not be exploited, to not work in inhumane conditions. That is your right. But where is the justice? Like I said, justice pick up, he pick name, ma, brother, sister, cousin, auntie, friend. Justice here, a whole shebang. They just halas. They know there. They just pick up and gone. And it's very sad. But who allow it? Who allow justice to leave? Who? Oh, not say you. You did. Your silence. Your silence. You're done on me. Another one over there. That led up to justice leaving. So day in, day out, you will hear all cries from all over seeking justice, and there is none. Any form. Any form. But because our people still have this deep connection with God, not mine way, majority of us, there's a deep connection with our God. But the problem is, we're in rebellion. And we need to stop rebel. We as a people need to stop being a rebellious people. And then the type of rebellion against mankind and finna law. We change every second. I'm talking about rebellion to the same God where this Constitution gives acknowledgement, acknowledges his supremacy. That same God. We rebel. And that's why justice pick up and go on boy business. Take a look around. Love him don't start to pack up already. Love the pack up. Don't you see what they're calling love now? If you speak against homosexuality and lesbianism, oh, it's hate speech. But this same God, whose principles this was founded on, says no to homosexuality and no to lesbianism. But then say when I come wrong now and talk about, oh, God is love. Yes, he is love. But he also despises certain behaviors, certain acts. And when those become predominant, when those actions start to become too much, it causes a separation. It's not him separating himself from us. It's we separating ourselves from him. So that we will experience the fact that social justice, there's no respect for it. The fact that the material resources of the country is not distributed to subserve the common good. That only a few benefit. The fact that labor is being exploited. The fact that our people are working in inhumane conditions. That is a clear sign that we have separated ourselves from the God that we claim this land and the rules and the rules and the laws of this land. The God that we say we acknowledge as a supreme being. We have separated ourselves from him. So we need to get back to basics. We need to get back. And it starts with giving him acknowledgement. Not just to say, oh yes, we know that there's God. Because like I said, our people were deeply connected. But we're being rebellious. And our rebellion is causing us to separate and accept these foolishness. It's because of that. Okay? Day in, day out, I watch people toil. Under some conditions that and sometimes I would mention it actually. I mention it. And you know what the response would always be? They would complain because they know that it's not that's not what they're supposed to be doing, or they know that there has been some infringement of their rights or violation of their rights, but necessity, because they need the livelihood is not there. Their livelihood is under attack. Adequate means, they don't have it. So they accept it. And because people like you they sit there and say, well, it's not me, and I am okay in my house, and I'm okay at my job, or I'm okay with my business, because we sit there and we accept that, then that brother or that sister goes through that, and by extension it becomes a reality for us too. Because no make no ghost fool you. In a heartbeat, things can switch. You could be up today, but in a heartbeat, tomorrow something can happen and you're right down there. So I am saying, if it's good for one, it's good for all. And what is good for all is good for one. We cannot continue this blind eye thing than on me. While social justice, they haul ass. Okay? Material resources, they haul ass. What are the common good? We don't even know what that means anymore. Except it being a common good of a few people. Not all, but just a few. Okay? We have a constitution. We have rights. And we need to start exercising those rights. And it starts with the acknowledgement of the supremacy of God. Giving him his proper place in this land. And by doing so, doing what his word says. Keeping his commandments. This ain't have nothing to do with religion. This is it. The people that sat down and wrote, they knew what they were writing. This is a well-written document. Very well written. It covers almost everything that you could possibly think of. Do you think they just sat down one day and just say, oh, well, I'm going to come up with a constitution? No. This took time. This took a lot of time, a lot of research, a lot of work went into this, creating this, where each and every single person is covered. This constitution. And we're taking it every day and throwing it in the garbage. Well, right now, we do more than actually throwing it in the garbage. We're actually taking one lighter and they burn it. I burn, leave it, till there won't be anything left. And we won't have anybody to blame but ourselves. And that's why I took on this. Because I honestly believe if our people understand their rights, okay, for those who don't want to give God acknowledgement, fine. Don't give him no acknowledgement. But this, as long as you're a human person and you live in Belize, you got to respect this. And that if a minister come right down, we're not business who you have to respect this. Because people toil went into this. And everything in here would serve the common man. Serve the common good. It serves it. I can't wait to dig a little bit deeper. I have a lot to cover because see all of this. I plan to take them piece by piece. This is what I'm doing right now. Every day, take a piece and share it. And I also have it posted on my page, the area, so that you can actually read it. You know, because while I'm reading it, I'm also doing a little discussion, try to tie it in, because you guys know that We have to talk in our way where our people can understand. You know, we're not there for the showcase words and they get the score cool points and all of that, and then intellectual. No, honey. That's not what this is about. That's not what this is about. This is about reaching the people that need to be reached so that they can understand their rights, so that we can get this country back in order. And it starts right there. Because if you don't know what are your rights, then you don't know when your right is being violated. You don't. And even if you know, at least you can identify it. Oh, hold on. No. That's not go like that, or no, I'm not doing this, or no, I'm not doing that. Okay? So this is a mission, and I challenge you. Download the Constitution. It's online. And I choose to do this for people that there's some people who don't like read. Well, a bunch of us. I am guilty of that. But I started to read a lot more over the years I started, right? But a lot of people don't like to read. Reading is fundamental. And in reading, it really, really, really opens up your eyes to a lot of stuff. So for those people, and there are people that cannot, not because they don't want to, but they can't read. So I honestly believe that the onus is on us, the people that have been given the privilege to read and write, to get this understanding and pass it on to those people that can't, because they were not given the privilege. You know, I truly believe that. People say, oh, people, they don't know how to read and write, they don't know nothing. Yes, a lot of people are in that situation in our country, but I do not believe it is because they choose it. We have bright people walking around in this country that cannot read and write because they were not afforded the privilege, circumstance, life. The same comes right back to this livelihood, adequate means of livelihood. They did not get it. They don't have it. Their generations don't have it. And one generation come in, one generation go out, and it's the same thing. A pattern. They did not have the adequate livelihood, and that is a right under this Constitution. It is a right that they were deprived of. Whose fault again is that, you say? Oh, that they not did. You, me. And we need to start take responsibility. Stop being selfish. Because remember, you have children coming up. And whatever you don't want for yourself or for your children, then you supposed to not want that for somebody else. And you can go and do things to help the situation. We are a family. See this Constitution where it says, equal and inalienable rights with which all members of the human family are endowed by their Creator. Family. We are family. We're a unit knit together. What affects you affects me. Whether directly or indirectly, it affects me. And what affects me will affect you the same way. That's why we have all these ills in society. But it starts right here. Our Constitution. How sad that is to say right here. Labor should not be exploited or forced by economic necessity. And if you have adequate means of livelihood for everybody, then you will not have that people are being forced because of economic necessity to have to operate in inhumane conditions. And we sit there and know these things are happening and just, oh, that's true. You know, sometimes when I hear people, not a violent person, but sometimes I just want boxing. saying that true is not going to fix the problem. And just say, oh, that only me, I can't. One, look at what I am doing. One person. You can do much even as one person. It might not change the whole thing, but it's a start. Every step is a start to something. If you don't ever take a step, then you get nowhere. Where will you go? You'll never reach anywhere by just standing right there. It doesn't matter how small the step. Just make one. In your area of life, whatever it is that you do, there's people around you. Make a difference. Do something for them, with them. Share something with them. We need to get back to that before we lose ourselves and this entire country. And this entire country. Because we're giving power to people who don't. We're giving power to people. People like you and me. We go to bathroom, to like yourself. We bleed like yourself. We probably are in a worse state of mind than you yourself. And you're giving power to these people. I know a long time that I knew a long time ago that I'm not one to sit by and watch foolishness. Why I haven't acted earlier? Because I thought, you know what, people, this thing will continue, whatever, but everybody have their part to play. And by you not playing yours, you become part of the problem. Well, I don't want to be part of no problem. Because I don't want to be like the people that would sit back and just complain and complain. Where does that get you? It's irritating. You're just complaining. To me, you're worse than the people that actually that's causing the problem. Because you're identifying that there's a problem. And in your head, all you can think is to just sit back and talk about it. Or complain about it. And not do nothing. Not do nothing? Really? And then get up the next day and complain about the same thing again. And the next day. No. Adequate means of livelihood for all. That includes you and the brother down the street where they living at the fall club, or the lady wrong so where house the Kimber. Adequate means of livelihood for all. How hard can that be? It's not. Especially when we have a country as rich in resources as Belize. And I tell you that it is rich. But if you have a bunch of certified fools, as I call them, managing your affairs, what do you expect? That's like you taking your money, giving it to the crackhead, and tell her, save it for you till next week. And the crackhead don't have no money, so what do you think happened to your money? It's gone. And these people have given themselves over to darkness. Whether I want to accept it or not, that's another topic. That's another topic that I'm going to touch. But I'm trying to keep to my Constitution, right? People in power have given themselves over to darkness. Don't act like you guys don't know. Again, goes against the principles of God. And if we're not supposed to be upset at anything, we're supposed to be upset with that. Because nowhere in this Bible God gives credence and weight to witchcraft activity. But it's so intertwined so much now. How do you think the leaders? You guys know that these people are into those things? The lodges. And I can speak about it. Because truth belongs to the Most High. And that defends itself. I don't need to defend truth. People only try to defend lies. And that could never be defended because all they do is create another lie for the lie. When you're talking the truth, you don't need to defend it. It defends itself. We need to stop it. Nip this thing in at the bud. Constitution rights for everybody, not just some. Start exercising it so justice could come back. So we can have justice again. All factions of justice. Whether it's social, criminal, economic. We need for it to come back again. But we can't the double dip. They have a hand in that this and then they have a hand in that. Because the God, which this constitution acknowledges as a supreme being, hates witchcraft. So that means they hate the other people in their works. He hates it. Again, I know my words, so I don't quarrel. I don't want. But I don't make up all the excuses I don't want to make up. Truth defend itself. And it's not my truth for me to defend it. It's only truth for me to speak it. Because when I don't want to quarrel against it, it's not me you're quarreling against. It's his truth, not mine. The Obeah man and the Obeah woman, they go get bats and those things. These things are affecting our livelihood. Because you can't serve two masters. You cannot serve two masters. You will love one and hate the other. And the God that we say, we as a people, see that? Whereas the people of Belize, it never said one person in Belize or two people in Belize. The people of Belize. And if you were born in Belize, you are the people of Belize. You fall under that category, so you have that responsibility to make sure you also know what this supreme being, what his requirements are. Because you can't say that he's a supreme being, but when it comes to his word, you want to pick and choose and take out what you want or put in what you want or do what you want. It don't work like that, honey. It doesn't work like that. No. If he is supreme, his word is supreme. That's why I can't even understand how that section 53 even passed. I am not a lawyer. But I could have gone and defend that. And no Caleb, no Lisa, no Tara, nobody could have gone against just this one simple opening paragraph right here, based on the supremacy of God. Well, it's my body and I can do whatever. Who says so? Who says so? Again, it's good people with understanding, people that have gifts, people that God has. You and me. Things will continue to happen until people like you and me that see the right, that know that is right, and that see the wrong, that know that it's wrong, being able to separate the two and says, okay, yes, we'll do this, and yes, we can do this, and no, we can do that because that is wrong, and stand to it. Until people like me and you start to get up and do something like what I'm doing right now. I know I'm not a fan of technology, but in this sense, I'm grateful for it because I can speak my mind and people can hear what's on my mind. And by hearing the words coming out of my mouth, you know, perhaps you feel the same way too. Gives you courage. As when I listen to people, they encourage me to be bold. I am very bold. Because you have to be bold when it comes to foolishness. In the sight of foolishness, you have to be bold. Because you have some people out here that think that things that they know what they're doing, you know. They have the little knife right there and they're digging into your skin. And they're watching you with a smile while they're doing it. They know what they're doing. And you just, you're hurting me. Hey, what it do? You not see what it do. You not see you hurt my hand. What happened? We need to stop. Stop this tippy-toey thing. It needs to stop. No, man, we have rights. These rights must be upheld. And if you that I believe and you don't like the rights, you don't like the fact that God is a supreme being, that we honor him, and that is, then you can always leave Belize. Ain't nobody got no gun to your head to stay here. You can always leave. Even if you were born here and you get exposed and you feel like, well, this is not for you and you want this and you want that, then honey, you can leave. You have sea, you have road, you have air. Choose one. Anyone you want. You can leave. But you're not going to come and bend our arm. Bend the arm of our children. Bend the arm of our grandparents and our ancestors and the people them that sat here, that were here, that carried us. No, you're not going to bend our hand to come to think like you or to do things like you. No, this is the common good. Common. It's not about just one person. It's about everybody. And right is right and wrong is wrong. Hey guys, morning. Right is right and wrong is wrong. We have people coming into this country bringing their they want to do this and that. You don't come here to come and change anything. You can actually, we don't mind you coming in and enhancing, adding. But if you're coming to take away, you know where you need to take away? You need to take away yourself. That's what you need to take away. You need to take away yourself. We have a beautiful country. We have resources, my people. We have so much resources that we don't need our own people. We don't have to be living in this mediocre lifestyle. You understand? We don't need to. But yet still every single day people are living without adequate means of livelihood. Then we sit and complain when these people are acting just to survive. No. When I talk to a couple of my friends, and I share my point. Oh, people thief and thief are dead. Liar. Ain't no thief for no dead. The Bible never tell you that. But you know who is for dead? Do you know which sin is punishable by death? Homosexuality and lesbian. That's punishable by death. Not a thief. Because a person will steal because they lack. And if our communities were the communities as how it was normally before, you understand, we shouldn't be going backwards. We should be moving forward. If the communities were the communities where, if you know your neighbor, they might be experiencing a really hard time or whatever, that they can come over, girl, Miss Mary, I have such a... I grew up with my grandmother. And I've seen that in my own household with my grandmother and my father. I was raised with my father and my grandmother, his mom. And my father feed people. Anybody can come. He always made extra food. Always had extra food. I used to always say, but daddy, that's me, you and Allison. Why we always have so much food? And you have all these people coming in the house. I'm not joking, man, but they know they could go to Mr. Norman and get a plate of food. They could go to Miss Mavis and get a plate of food. So I'm glad I was raised around that, because then it teaches me to give. To give. What is it for you to have so much and then your neighbor don't have? No, you can't just say, oh, they that's a funny thing, and they always. The Bible says the poor will always be with us. So there is no eradication of poverty or the poor. These people are using that as a way to make money. There is no eradication of it. It's not going nowhere. Poor people are not going anywhere. People that lacks, they're not going anywhere. They are there so you and me can sow into their lives and get our blessings. You will have, I will have. Doesn't matter what you have, okay, how small it is, it can be shared. I teach that principles in my own house. You go and you see 2 slices of bread left. You dare, my children, they dare not eat the 2. You better eat piece of 1, or ask if anybody else want before you do that. No, we have to. The greediness, it have to stop. Where does it get you? I haven't seen anybody going into their grave with no house, no jewelry, no car. I know people are dying to avoid going into the grave. This is craziness. Fundamental rights and freedom, fundamental, given by the Almighty to us. And we're just stamping on it, trampling it. And if we trample it for ourselves, we're trampling it for other people as well. And if we sit and watch it being trampled on for others and not do anything or not step up or not say anything, we are doing it to them just the same. Exploitation of labor. The other day, I heard they had this building that was being destroyed on the corner of Freetown here. Asbestos. And the people were just pulling down the thing without any kind of protection. If they knew what asbestos was, no contractor could have paid them no money to be up there pulling down that roof. If they only knew. But again, you see, comes right back to the same here. The same part B. That labor should not be exploited or forced because of economic necessity. Because of economic necessity. So then they try to catch whatever they could catch. Even if it means putting themselves and their family in danger. Whether by sickness, you understand? Or by injury. By injuring themselves. Economic necessity. It should not be. It is here in the Constitution. We are to provide adequate means of livelihood for all people, not some. Not some. And the government, it's not just solely the government's responsibility. It's yours as well. And mine. They will do whatever they want to do. And until you stop treating politicians and people, their ministers, like they're gods, and treat them like they are employees, paid employees. That's a national service, yes, but it is a job. They're not doing it for free. They're being paid. It's a job. So you hold them to the same standards as you would a manager, a supervisor, an employee. And there's a further down here in the Constitution, it also talks about what? That on the same line of labor, right? That it should not be exploited or forced by economic necessity to operate in inhuman conditions. It further continues to say that there should be opportunity for advancement on the basis of recognition of merit, ability, and integrity. In labor, well, where is the PUDP or PUP and UDP? What part for their report card there? Where are their report card? Huh? If you plan on advancing them, I hope that just like how when people go to their jobs, there's a review. I hope that review is conducted. An advancement is made based on a merit, ability, and integrity. It's a job. And the job is manager. It's a management team we put. It's a management team. It's no different than you operating a business or a company. You have the manager and then you have the workers. Okay? Politicians are the employees of the people. You are the boss. I am the boss. And I know if you guys have your own business, I know that you wouldn't take it lightly that your employees come and tell you what they want to do, when they want to do it, how they want to do it. Or even worse, just go do things without your knowledge. That's what's going on. That's what's going on. That is what is going on. We have employees in government. Employees, our employees. We need to start treating them as employees and not gods. Not worshiping them, but recognizing them when and give them the opportunity of advancement based on merit, ability, and integrity. Failing that, what do you do to your employees who's not performing? Or who is putting the business at risk? Or who is spending more than what is coming in? Or who is spending, you understand? But when they're spending, I have a thing that I like to go by. I say, for every dollar you spend, you should be, $1 should return or $2. You understand? That you should think carefully about spending that dollar. Because after that dollar is spent, it's gone. So for every time when you spend $1, if that dollar is not bringing back another $1 or $2, better you keep it. It's best you keep it unless you have to spend it. And have to in my book that probably be like mandate. So the same requirements we would put on an employee, it's the same requirements we need to hold people as well. We need to hold these people, these managers, because when you sign up for that position, it's a job. It is a job. It's a paid job. And they can't have 3 and 4 and 5 positions either, because something is being neglected. You can't be 4 and 5 different titles. You can't wear that. Again, we sit back and allow it. Like there's only a few people that have intelligence in this country. There are only few people, at least at the way how it seems, because one person could hold 5, 6, 7 titles. And do you know how that goes? Something is, if matter of fact, I didn't know I say something is being neglected. Everything is being neglected. Because you can't focus on those 3, 4, 5 titles. And these are big things. How you want to have 5 different departments where you to oversee? Everything is neglected. And that's why our country is in the state of affairs that it is right now. You understand? Oh, this is your title? Okay, listen. Focus on that. We have more than enough intellectuals and more than enough people in this country. A matter of fact, you don't even have to be an intellectual. If you could run your household, you understand, without going into deficit and you know you don't have, you understand, you spend what you have and not what you don't. If you put yourself in a debt, it will be something to that it will appreciate. It will bring some kind of return for something that appreciates and not something that depreciates. You know, these are common things that will actually give to adequate means of livelihood for our people. One person having 5, 6, 7 titles and a big department. Big because I'm saying the nature of the work that needs to be done. You can't, you're spreading yourself thin. But because of greed, they want everything. And power, they don't want to allow other people to come in because they won't be able to manipulate them, control them, you know, and all of this stuff. We have to put an end to that. And it starts here by understanding your rights. Nobody in this country is supposed to have to go to go to forced labor or work in inhumane conditions. Just because they need. It's wicked. It is wicked. And if you are an employer listening to me, you hear what I'm saying, it's wickedness. And therefore, if you continue doing that to your employees or exposing them to inhumane conditions, you understand? If you continue doing that, God forgive you. But I'm telling you, your judgment is coming. Your judgment is coming. Quick and fast. What you don't want for yourself, you shouldn't be doing to other people. Craziness. It's crazy. We have a constitution that protects people. And if you do not care about God or acknowledge Him, friend, take that. That's between you and Him. When you see Him, you could tell Him how He feels, how you feel. Make all your complaints towards Him. But while you're in this earth and you live in Belize and you want to be a part of the Belizean economy, hello, this is it. If you don't like this, what this says, and you have a problem with it, you can leave land, sea, air, anywhere. You can leave. But nothing is going to turn to suit you. Worse, if it does not benefit our people, our country, or if it is not going to bring us forward. Good forward too, because we don't want no backward forward, yeah. Like where the equal opportunity bill trying to ram down our throats. I call it backward forward. Only they enough for their own reason of mine. There's no controversy around that, my friend. You can't get no rights, because what you're asking for is not a human right. It will never be a human right. Under no circumstance you could choose to sleep with one man, dog, whatever. That's your choice, and you are just in rebellion, and God will deal with you when He's ready to deal with you. But you're not going to come and try to get all of we in rebellion along with you. It's not a right. Homosexuality is not a right. Lesbianism is not a right. It's a choice. And like I said in my other video, my introduction to the Constitution, you should be treated like a terrorist, because you are acting towards the annihilation and destruction of the human family. Not being able to procreate, to reproduce, to bear children. If you can't do that, you're an enemy of the human family. Okay? All of these things contribute to, again, adequate means of livelihood. Adequate means of livelihood. It's not just economic. It's moral as well. Because you're trying to break down. You're causing a deterioration of our society, or morality, what it's founded on. You are terrorists. That's terroristic activity. When we see the terrorism act, the first item on that act should be homosexuality and lesbianism, because it destroys the human race. Its end is to destroy the human race. Don't ask me to ask you. If you can't reproduce, then you're ending the race. And if everybody choose to be homosexuals and choose to be lesbianism, the human race will cease to exist. It will be annihilated. Simple. So you are a terrorist. All right? So I'm going back here. Opportunity for advancement, the basis of recognition of merit, ability, and integrity. You have people working. We're talking about the economic side of it here again. You have people working for years and years and years and years and years for the same people at the same wage. I'm not telling you that everybody is spectacular workers, but we do have some very good, hardworking people in this country. Dedicated, loyal. You understand? And do you think that they would give them a leeway for how long they've been working there? Do you think that they give them a leeway? No. They don't give them no raise. They keep them there instead of thinking, the more I invest in my employee, the more I'll get back from them. Because people just want to be able to meet their basic needs at that. How hard can that be for you? Especially if you have the understanding that it is because of this person's effort and work why you are able to make it. You know? It's your business, but it's not going anywhere without your employees. Where do you think it's going without them? Absolutely nowhere. So you invest in people, man. You invest in them. You don't use their circumstance and a situation to inflict them, to afflict them further. And then like an old dishcloth, when you're done with it, you just take it and throw it out. That is the reality for so much of our people right now. Exploitation of their labor. And forced labor because of the economic necessity. And if that's you, please know that you have a right. If that is a circumstance on where you're working, leave that job. Leave that person. God will provide. Or you start, or what you would do, you start looking for something else right away. Don't matter how long you've been there. Because if they cared about you, they would have invested in you as you have made an investment in them. Start looking for something else to do. God will provide. He always does. Okay? That's your right. You don't need to work under those circumstances, putting your life at risk, your health at risk. Because when they don't work, when they're done with you, like I said, you're like an old dishcloth. Take that and rub that up and throw it out. So know your worth, know your right. It's as simple as that. And that's why I'm so with getting some kind of coalition government. Because this PUDP thing, they married to each other. Okay? Don't look at the facade and on the glitz and everything on the outside. They're two of the same. One in the same. 6 or 1 and half a dozen of the other. Alright? So until we get other people in the house, we're not going to get no changes, because things like this labor, and that's why I speak. If you feel like you're working and you are being exploited, leave. Or look for something else to do in the meantime. Because people don't have faith in the labor department. I've heard so many stories. And pretty much all the stories, they sound the same. You have people working when they're coming to their 8, 9, 10 years, almost 10 years. All of a sudden, they let them go, because they don't want to pay them continuous service. Then they hire them back under some other. It is crazy. And all we keep doing is band-aid stuff. Putting one band-aid, one band-aid. Election is coming. I offer myself as an independent candidate, not because so much I really want to be in politics, but I know that something needs to change. And if nobody else want to stand up, then I will. Who want to stand with me? Please do. I'm hoping that by me standing, other people will stand too. I'm not going to get a coalition government, because all these little band-aids, patch things that we're doing, if we don't get to Belmopan and really ruffle up some flowers, throw out some garbage, it won't be same old. It will be same old. We need to get there so we can start implementing these laws, these things here, upholding them. Because these people have their people placed in certain departments. They have their peoples. So our people are not getting any redress. No care where you go, you'll reach one wall. Because they are all of the same agenda. They're a team. Now we need to start operating as a team. When you go vote for the independent people. Vote for all the independent candidates. Every single one vote in. Why? They hold no allegiance to any party. No allegiance to no party. And that's why I took the step to run independent rather than to continue with BPP as well. Everybody have their own agenda. It's like people, and it's a party. This party business. It have to go. We can have a government with independent candidates. We can. I wish there's an independent candidate in every single constituency. Just offer on yourself, man. Give people options. Don't worry about whether you win or you lose. Look at the bigger picture. Offer yourself. Go independent. You don't have to spend no money. Just have your 6 people to nominate you. Go offer yourself. People want change. But we can't keep doing the same thing and expect different results. They call that crazy. Okay? And the system is there. It's the people that are managing. That's the problem. It's like a drug to them, a high. They don't get used to it. From 1981 up until now. The same people, check the family history. Who married to who? Nephew, cousin, brother, sister, uncle. They're all one. UDP, PUP, they're all one. And don't watch the new faces that they bring. Oh, fresh face, my foot. It's the same crappy policies and the same crappy constitution that put people last and party first. It's the same policy. And those new fresh faces that you're seeing, when they come in, they got to do the same thing. Follow the party policies and follow the constitution, which puts them first, even in error. Even if they're wrong. No. How can you get by? How can you get ahead like that? And then expect for these rights not to be violated? Or to be stopped? Do you think that they're just going to wake up tomorrow with a sudden dose to go drink a hot cup of coffee and just decide and just get a dose of conscience? No. Because they're thinking about their other generations. They're setting up their own generations. For us, our resources. And what bothers me more is the fact that there is so much for everybody. There's so much for them to be comfortable and other people be comfortable too. So how can you be so selfish? You have to serve Satan, my friend. You have to. How can you be comfortable with so much while you say other people not have? You understand? And the Bible, the word, this word of God right here, this is founded on this principle right here that says give to the needy. When you see the orphans and the widows, take care of them. You don't exploit them. You don't use their situation and their circumstance to further push them down or stomp them down into the ground. You don't do that. The poor will always be with us. They are there to create balance as in everything else in the world. They will not go anywhere. And today you could be sitting high as a CEO and tomorrow you can be right in the same category with the poor. It's for anybody. So don't think that because you're on a high horse, you could be thrown from that horse anytime. Anytime. And that's why we need to uphold our constitution, understand what it is, and make sure that everybody enjoys rights. Everybody. Your neighbor down the street, the little old man wrong such the little old lady up the mountain. Everybody needs to enjoy these rights. Stop having foreigners come into this country and living better than our own people. Where is that written? As my grandmother would say, no sanke, no sing so. So we need to stop singing the song today. But it's not going to happen if we don't do something. So I'm doing my part right now. Actually, I took a big step. I offer myself for politics. Yes. I know I'm sharing the Constitution. You could do it too. There's 31 constituencies. We need people. Fill those gaps. You don't need to spend no money. Just get 6 people and go on nomination day. Go put your name there. Give people an option other than the PUDP mafia families, as I call them. We need to stand up for each other. They are not going to stand up for you or for me. We have to stand up and do. Stop this. Stand up, stand up, stand up. Stand up for your right. Stand up, stand up. What does that mean? Rise. 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 Okay? Arise. Rise. We're not just standing up. Kind of stand up, you could still be in the same position. Rise, people. Rise. Rise. Because other people need you to rise. They're depending on you to rise. Rise up. When you're rising, you're elevating, you're going up. Standing up is just getting up. You could be still in the same position. Only because you're on your feet. We don't want to just stand up. We're rising. Now we're rising up. Okay? As we continue with part B of the Constitution, again, it's dealing with the principles of social justice, which has left the country. All justice by that mean, like I said, pack up, suitcase, valise, everything, and gone. We got to get them back. We have to bring justice back. Economic, social, every part of justice we need it back in this country. You understand? The economic system, the operation of it, it must serve the common good. We need those things back. And it depends on you and it depends on me to bring it back. Okay? Time. I don't want it to be too long because I don't want to lose people, right? But the advancement, labor, exploitation of labor. People are not to be exploited. If you are being exploited, if you notice, I say leave or look for something else to go, because there's no faith in the labor department, and that's supposed to be our recourse. If our labor is being exploited, we're supposed to go to the labor department. That is where we're supposed to find justice. But there's no faith in that, because their cells, the same mafia families and the PUDP mafia families, they have their cells in these departments. So our people don't get the recourse. They don't really get they don't get nothing, and that adds to their frustration. It adds to it. So we have a whole bunch of frustrated people walking around. You're already working for $3 an hour, which is like $1.50 US. Kids are graduating from the universities with associates and bachelor's degree, having to take a call center job. Now, there's nothing wrong with a call center job, my friend. Okay? But at the call center, why I use the call center as an example is because a lot of people also work at the call centers that don't even have a high school degree, a high school diploma, So I'm just saying that our children, parents, and you're spending your money on education for your children, hoping that this sacrifice that you've made, this hard work, some people clean house, some people do all kind of things, to come up with this money in order for you to send your children so they could get the best education. You understand? So then, why you may have to waste your money? They clean people's house, the time that they listen to people bullshit, they got you all of that. You didn't have to do that then if they were still going to end up at the call center. Not saying like I said that call centers are a degrading place or anything like that. It's a job. But I'm showing you the difference. That people work hard, they take their earnings and they invest into their children so that they can have a better life. You understand? And then, boom, call center. Because nowhere else is hiring. Or they don't know this person or that person, so they can't get a job. It's not based on recognition of merit, ability, and integrity. Their employment is not based on their merit, what they can do, what they actually have here. It's a popularity. It's been reduced to popularity. Who you know? These things are wicked. It's wicked. And it's non-constitutional. It's non-constitutional. And this has to be upheld. Because this is the supreme law of the land. It needs to be upheld. Basis advancement. Imagine all these children graduating after they spend countless nights, bags underneath their eyes, no sleep, tiring themselves for this education that's supposed to bring them, open doors for them, windows. Instead, they're digging holes. And you know the messed up part about the education part that I don't like? The fact is, fine, if you're educating them to be employees, right? Okay. But there's no job, so where the employees going to work? Then educate them to become employers, to produce jobs, to create jobs. But they're not doing that. When you go to school, you are being educated to be an employee, not an employer. Majority of us have to choose to become an employer. Maybe because you have that in your family already, or you're exposed to people owning their own business or something of the sort. But it's not a requirement, or it's not an automatic when you go to school. The big thing is for you to go and work for somebody, not for you to create a job for someone else. That's why I always, in my own household, I would teach and encourage my children and let them know that when I send you to school and I'm sacrificing to make sure you get that education, I am doing so that you can provide. If you go and get out there and you can't find no job, then you go create a job. It's simple. But they don't do that. Because they want everybody underneath them. One set of family. One set. So we can get rid of this. We can get rid of it. We need to educate each other. Start talking to people. Opening up the eyes of the other people. Because everybody is under the same frustration. No make no ghost fool you. Oh, wait. Hold up. You think the people that are in a big house with their big mortgage, you think that they're not underneath the same frustration? You think they're not? They're under worse frustration than the people that they like to talk about baka gongolong. When I have no light bill for pay, no water bill to pay, they're living for free. Okay? I no vex with them none at all. Because it's your right. Adequate means of livelihood. It's your right. But they sell people a dream. Exactly what I'm telling you, a dream. They sell them this dream. You know what came to me the other day? I did a comparison of people that they call poor, the less of the destitute, stupid people. Not the poor, not the ones that they call in the poor, the ones that call them the poor, less of the destitute and all of this. Stupid people, ignorant, lack knowledge. Those people are fine. All they have to worry about is their food to eat. They might not live in the best house, you understand? But you know what? Majority of them, their house have more love. Now a lot of them big mansions wrong here. Okay? They don't have to worry about light, water, all of these things. That's all. Okay? They don't have no mortgage, so they don't have to get up 40, 50 hours, 60 hours for the week, neglect their children, come home tired, here they drop out, stress out, sick, they pop pills because they have to work so hard. No. Because they have a bank to pay. I can't wait to touch that one day. Because they have a bank, the slave driver, every month. Or else, there goes their house, their land, their car, their children, education, everything that they have worked hard for. There goes everything. And 80% of our people lose every day to the banks. They hard work. Hard work. That's what me say. Me, Elizabeth, Dina. I was one of them. And I woke up. And said, oh, hold up. Wait a minute. Why did I do this for again? Stop, stick a pin right there. Nope. Not a slave. That's not my portion. That's not my portion. Free men, free institution. And the Bible says, the borrower is slave to the lender. I am not nobody's slave. Sorry. Nope. I will live in a full club. It will be the nicest darn full club you could ever find. Oh yes. Because I don't require much to live. I don't require much to live at all. I come from very humble beginnings. So I've had little and I've had much. There's nothing in this earth that can bend my knees. Vanity, money, wealth, none of that. None. I'm one of those people that the enemy get up every day, and when he realizes that I'm still alive, he begs. Because he has nothing to use against me. Nothing. Because all the vanities and all the things that people always run after, Elizabeth don't care about that. Do you know what I care about? Morals, love, people. Nothing make her feel better than spending time with people, sitting down, chit-chatting, laughing, and all the comedian. That's what life is all about. That's what life is all about. Get up and laugh and play and enjoy your family. Don't get up and work. You work to eat. That's it. Anything else outside of that is wickedness. It's wickedness because it's robbing you of the time spent with your family, enjoying your family. And then it puts pressure on even your family. I'm not telling you not to work. Hold up. Because people love take things out of context. I am saying your priority. You work to eat, to maintain. But you should not work to the point where you become a slave and it becomes a detriment to your home, to your marriage, to your children. Okay? Material things does not make you complete. And I know if a lot of people want to be honest, they will let you know that. It doesn't make you complete. Okay? People, complete people. People. You know, I can think of there's been a lot of times, but there was a particular time, I think about last year, when I met this gentleman and he was asking for something to eat or whatever. But that day I just felt just get like one extra money and thing. And I watched him and I said, you know what, I'm going to bless this man today. And I took out the money and I gave it to him. Just wrap it up and slide it to his hand. When he opened his hand and he saw how much I gave him, oh my gosh, the holy man face light up like light bulb. A lot of people say, oh, he's going to take crack, he's going to do this, I don't care. I don't care what he's going to do with it. I gave him out of the goodness of my heart. As he had a need, I saw his need, and God put it on my heart, then I'm supposed to meet the man's need. Now what he do with it, what he does with it is his business. And that's between him and the Almighty. Simple. Alright? Make we get back to that. Okay? Raising the children together. All right? Raising our children together, man. Looking out for each other. You understand? You might have too much clothes. Give some to your neighbor when I got none. You know? You might notice they might be the family struggling over there. So careful eating our groceries if you can. You know? You would be surprised what you can do for somebody. It don't have to be a lot. But we have to raise this bar. We can't stay on this level that we are. We can't. You understand? And our Constitution gives us that right to live adequate means. Adequate. That we are not stressed out. They pull out your hair. Where you want to get this from? No. How can you be okay? Then you do know that when you're under such stress, then you start get sick. So that brings another issue. Because then now you have to include doctor now. Which actually includes a bill. Either for you or your children. So one thing leads to the next. Right? Let's get back to these basics of constitutional rights. Adequate means of livelihood. Do not exploit people's labor. If you have people working for you, make sure that that they're not working in inhumane conditions. All right? Provide opportunities of advancement for them based on their merit, their integrity, their ability. You know? Motivate people to want to do better. The more we suppress and oppress each other, because, and I say people, each other, the more we suppress and we oppress each other, we suppress and oppressing ourselves from moving forward. And we were not put in this earth to have dominion over each other. We were put in the earth to have dominion over the birds, the animals, the beasts in the fields, the fish in the sea. We were not, nowhere in God's word did it say we were to have dominion over each other. Nowhere. Okay? We were not. All right? Now, the next part of, just a small part of part B is remaining. And that is that equal protection should be given to children. To children. So all I read just now about the principles of social justice and the economic system, the material resources of the community being distributed evenly, the livelihood of all, labor should not be exploited or forced by economic necessity, the opportunity for advancement based on merit, ability, integrity and such. All of these rights applies as well, equally to all children. All children. Okay? Human family consists of the man, woman, and child. Or children if they have more than one. Okay? And all these rights goes to children. Alright? It is our responsibility because the children are the future generations. So we have to make sure that we're building good foundation so that the children, when they're taking over, you understand, they build. Like my children, I always tell them, like my daughter told me one is, Mommy, I don't want to be, when I go up, I want to be just like you. I said, no, I don't want you to be like me. I want you to be better than me. Okay? In life, we're growing. So the me today, no. You can't be me, 18 years later? There's no growth. Please, you be yourself, but you please supersede me. Go beyond me. Because then I would know that I have did what I was supposed to do. I kept my obligation and my responsibility as a parent. When your children come from behind you and do better than you. You have some parents where They act like they're in competition with their children. That's craziness. Mothers, I don't really see it with fathers as much, but with mothers, some mothers. You can't be in competition with your child. What are you? Your children should be better than you. So if they're pointing certain things out to you, you know what I'm saying? Welcome that they're functioning. They have a brain and it's functioning. Be happy. Be grateful. Don't look at that as competition or as a threat or as them, threatening your authority or whatever. Look into what they're saying and doing. As long as they're not being disrespectful. Yes, your children are supposed to be better than you, to do better than you. That's how you know you have succeeded as a parent. Aside from, of course, I always tell mine that I don't pray for them to be no liar, no doctor, no career this and career that. I tell them, my prayer is for you. What I want for you to become, I want you to have a personal relationship with God and fear God. Because I know that by them doing that, then everything else is going to fall in place. And God is going to lead them wherever He wants them to lead. But I don't put no picture of my children about go to school and make sure I be my doctor and I want you to be this because of that. No, I don't do that. Have a personal relationship with God. I'll send you to school because you need to learn how to operate in the system that we live. But I won't dictate to you what you will become or do because I don't even know that. Some people don't even know that for their own self, trying to dictate to the picnic what they're supposed to do or become. They become who God created them to become. Okay? Some people are set for school. Some people are not. Some children are set for that education, that setting. That traditional academic. Okay. Some are not. Some are hands-on. Some are trades. Some are skilled in other areas. Doesn't make them any less. They're operating in their gifts. And that's what's important. Yeah. So, children, regardless of their social status, they should have a just system, should ensure to provide for education, health on the basis of equality. So when it comes to children, they get to enjoy all the rights of the Constitution. And added on to that, they also get education and health on the basis of equality. So one picnic not deserving more than the next. Okay? We can get these things back into our fabric of life. We can sew it back in little by little. But it starts with you and it starts with me. I'm doing my part. I'm doing my part right now. 5:30 in the morning. Getting up. I had technical difficulties this morning. I'm so terrible with this thing here. Technology. And I'm the only one up. So I got a late start because of that. And even when I got the thing started at a little bit after 6, I still had problem with the audio. So I just end up I don't like things in my ears or anything like that. I like to be free. But so I end up having to resort to this, and this seemed to work out fine. So, but anyway, I think we're a little bit out of time. I think I kind of went over my time this morning, but it was well worth it for me. And I'm hoping that you who are watching, that you've learned something, and that please do comment and share. If there's something that you think that I needed to highlight, or that you want to comment on, something that you can share with me that maybe I don't know, because I always thirst for knowledge. As long as people are sharing with me, I'm all ears. Okay? So if there's something that you'd like to share, maybe something that you want me to talk about tomorrow morning without the technical difficulties, I must say, please let me know. Put your comments and stuff, okay? And tomorrow I'll be doing part C of the same Constitution, right? I did part A already, and in one video today. This video covers part B, which deals more with respecting the principles of social justice. that making sure that the operation of the economic system, that it results in the material resources of the community being so distributed to subserve the common good, and that there should be an adequate means of livelihood for all people, that labor should not be exploited, and you know that we have a big problem with that in this country, or forced because of economic necessity. And most of our labor right now in this country is forced because of economic necessity. People are underpaid and overworked. Underpaid and overworked. And it can be fixed. It really can be fixed, you know. And that the people that do work, that when you are working, that there is an opportunity for you to advance based on your merit, ability, and integrity. And that equal protection be given to children regardless of their status. And for children, that a just system should be ensured to provide for education and health on the basis of equality. So that is Belize Constitution as in force March 1st, 2012, as commenced on September 21st, 1981. And opening, whereas the people of Belize affirm that the nation of Belize shall be founded upon principles which acknowledge the supremacy of God, first and foremost, faith in human rights, fundamental freedoms, position of the family in a society of free men. Can't wait for God to dig deep into this constitution. Free. That's a very, very, very powerful word. Free. Free men. And free institutions, the dignity of the human person, the equal and inalienable rights which all members of the human family, we are all part of God's family. The human family are endowed by their creator, which is God. And so we uplift this constitution, whether you believe in God or not. If you live in Belize and you call yourself a resident and you were born in Belize, then this is the supreme law of the land. And it is not for you to try, twist and turn it how you want. This is the supreme law, okay, of the land. So I thank you for tuning in with me this morning. It was long, but I thank you very much. And I challenge you to rise. Tomorrow we want to vibe. Okay? Have an awesome, blessed day today. Be fruitful, be good to yourself, and be good to others. I thank you for watching. See you tomorrow.